Hello, welcome to this next episode on Tova Redmo Life Coach. I'm Tova, I'm a life coach. I'm a former project manager in the city and I'm a special needs mum. I have been a working mum, a burnt out mum, and I'm now an entrepreneur mum. So I know an awful lot about juggling life and motherhood. Oh boy, yes. There's a lot that comes into it, and a lot of it is fun. And I also have experienced many a time this thing of being a perfectionist mum, which is not the same as being a perfect mum. Far from it. Being a perfectionist mum is judging myself for everything that I don't do perfectly. Do you recognize this? When I hear other coaches talking about perfectionism, I so often hear them talk about perfectionist tendencies when it comes to your work, or perfectionist tendencies when it comes to your body image or to your home, and how perfectionism very often leads to procrastination. That there are a lot of people saying, well, I can't possibly be a perfectionist because my home is not perfect. I can't possibly be a perfectionist because I never start my work on time and finish it to a 200% satisfaction, or I can't be a perfectionist because my house is messy. But actually, what is going on is that you have such perfectionist ideals of how it should be that you don't even start. Perfectionism and fear of failure go hand in hand a lot, actually, of this kind of thing. If I don't, if I have to do it, I have to do it perfectly, and then it's not going to be perfect, and then in the end, you procrastinate on doing what you need to do until the deadline is looming over you. Your boss is breathing down your neck about that project, or your mother-in-law is turning up in a few hours, or whatever it is, and then you panic clean, or you panic finish off your project, and you see a lot of yo-yo dieting when it comes to the body image of, I want to look exactly like this, and then I'm never going to look like this, and then there's depriving yourself, and then it's overindulging, and then you're never ever happy and satisfied about how you're doing things. So these are things that I hear about a lot, and I wasn't going to talk about, but I realised I've just ranted on for minutes about it, haven't I? Oh crap, not perfect. Oh no. But what I wanted to talk about today was something that actually came up in a coaching session I did recently, and where my client even said to me, she said, Tova, you need to make a vlog about this. So I'm making a vlog about this. And it's got to do with being the perfect parent in the middle of the night. Very niche. But I have a child who really struggles to sleep, and my client has a child who really struggles to sleep. So we are both members of the 2 a.m. club of, oh my God, will you please just relax? Why aren't you relaxing? Just, oh God, to sleep club. I've been in this club for a long time now. And yes, it's an interesting one. So that's very niche, isn't it? So let me widen it a little bit to perfectionist parenting tendencies in general. I don't necessarily think that procrastination is a problem when we are being perfectionist parents, because for the vast majority of us, and let's face it, you would not be sitting here watching this or listening to this if you didn't care for your children. We care for our children. Yes, we get up and we care for our children. We dress them, we feed them, we hug them, we comfort them, we engage them, we activate them. We care for our kids. Yes. So there's no procrastination going on there. As a matter of fact, everything is kind of rolling on, and it's very fast, and you don't really have the time to stop and take stock, actually, more than procrastinating when it comes to childcare. But we do put very undue pressure on ourselves to be the perfect parent. And I think that we possibly do so even more now in this age of self-help and enlightenment and understanding how our own childhood experiences are still impacting us today as adults, which is making us terrified that we're going to mess our kids up. You know, when you kind of, you've been spending time maybe working with a coach like me, looking at yourself and understanding where some of your actions and some of your behaviors are coming from, and that they're coming from potentially a very critical parent who you were never good enough, and now you're carrying this with you into your adult life and feeling that you always have to do more and give more and be more in order to be good enough, right? And the last thing you want to do is pass a similar issue on to your kid. Okay? And then you're in a really nasty spiral because, of course, you know, you were never good enough to your parents, so now you need to be the perfect parent so that you're good enough to your child. And you judge yourself so much, and you look at other parents and you think, oh, well, they seem to really have this under control. They seem to do this so well. And I actually see this on my other YouTube channel, Parent XP, the one where I share about life as a special needs parent, where I film myself on the good days, okay? I don't film myself when I'm snapping out and grumpy with my kids. That's not what is seen on that channel. And then I get comments going, oh, you're such a good mom. I wish I had your patience. You have my patience. You are a good mom as well. And I am really not perfect. So don't go comparing yourself to the stuff that I have chosen to film and chosen to leave in the edit. We look at social media, oh, you know, there they are at Disneyland being so happy and they're so engaged and they're such a family, you know, and oh, I'm not like that. When we went to a theme park, all I did was grump at my children and you know, one kid dropped the candy floss in a muddy puddle and I shouted at them for that. And you know, you can't go comparing yourself to other people because you don't actually know what's going on. But we have a tendency to do this. We have a tendency to look at what we think is perfect and then mentally write down all the ways in which we do not tick those boxes. And we're very good at this. We're very good at reminding ourselves of every single way that we are not perfect. And it leads to jealousy, and it leads to envy, and it leads to shame, and all of these negative feelings are probably going to make you even less perfect the next time something happens where you don't behave in the way that you really wanted to behave. You've exhausted so much mental energy beating yourself up that when you need a boost of mental energy, you haven't got anything in reserve, right? And so we snap at our kids, even though we always said, I'm going to be the patient mom who never snap at my kids. And we have moments when we wish we didn't have our kids. Or we have moments where we don't particularly like them. Although I'm going to be very pedagogical here, just in case a child is listening, it's not that I don't like you, it's that I don't like what's going on right now. Because of course you love your kids. Just take a moment, a little moment, sit back and think about what's good about your kid. Yeah? I can sit and think about the way that Elin melts against me and growls softly when she's really happy, and that's her way of saying, Mommy, I love you. Or I can think of how amazingly brave and strong Alice has become, and she's testing her physical boundaries every day, and I'm so proud of her. Yeah? Just take that moment. What is it about your child or your children that make you so happy and proud to be their mom? Of course you love them. Of course you love them. But your kids are not perfect, are they? And you still love them, even though you're not perfect. You don't love everything that they do. You don't love every second of time with them, but you still love them. And I would invite you to turn that feeling over to yourself and approach yourself with a bit more compassion and a bit more self-love, a bit more understanding. You are doing really amazingly, fantastically well. You're not perfect, but nobody is perfect. And now perhaps is the time to start embracing your imperfections, of accepting them, of saying, I'm only human, I'm only one person, I'm only one woman. And for those of you who are members of the 2 a.m. club, it's the middle of the night. You are sleep deprived. Maybe you are so tired that you have, despite your child's best efforts, somehow drifted off a little bit to sleep, and then your kid wakes you up, they need you. This is not the time where you need to start beating yourself up for how you respond to that moment. Okay? It is not. Now is the time to talk to yourself kindly, no matter how you respond to that moment. So let me tell you how I responded to that moment last night. I screamed, "Oh, for F's sake, Elin, will you just relax and go the F back to sleep?" And I screamed that at her. At my disabled child who was having spasms that were keeping her awake, waking her up and keeping her awake. Every single muscle in her body was fired up and she was trembling. There was a tremor going through all of her because she was that tense. She can't relax and go the F to sleep. She physically cannot, because her damaged central nervous system has kicked in and fired up all of her muscles. She is having full body cramp. She cannot go the F to sleep, and yet I screamed at her. I am willing to bet that there's not a single one of you there who's saying, "Oh my God, you're such a horrible mom." It is what I said to myself last night. I did say to myself that I was a horrible mom, because logically I knew that this was not her being a little brat. But of course, beating myself up in that moment does nothing to calm me down. And unless I calm down, I can't calm my daughter down. So this is the time where you take a deep breath. You apologize to yourself, genuinely apologize to yourself for being so hard on you. And you apologize to your child and tell her you love her. And you breathe. And slowly but surely you regulate yourself down. You calm down your heart rate. This is so funny. Every time that I do this breath work and put myself in this calm state, she comes. She feels it immediately and she's like, "Yeah, I want some of that energy." I want some of that energy. Hello, my beautiful cat. Thank you for coming and co-regulating with me. And as I calm down, and as I manage to slow my pulse down and help my own muscles relax, I was able to transfer that feeling to Eileen. I was able to help her calm down, help her muscles relax. May have given her a bit of painkillers as well while I was at it, because, she was struggling last night. And she was able to eventually relax and go the F to sleep. You can't be perfect all the time. We don't have that in us. And when we are stressed out, when we are sleep deprived, when we have too many balls in the air that we're juggling, when we have too many worries, we can't be perfect parents. Are we going to mess our kids up? Yeah, probably. There will be life coaches when they're adults as well, okay? What you can do is remind your child as often as works out for you how much you love them and how wonderful you think they are. And remind yourself. And I can promise you one thing. Your child thinks you're perfect. Maybe not if they're a teenager, they've got a phase to get through then, but your child loves you unconditionally. You are still your child's safe place. Even though I screamed at Elin in the middle of the night, she still melted into me during our morning cuddles this morning. Even though I have snapped at Alice to stop whinging about the time we left the playground, she still wants to talk to me, engage with me, cuddle me, and show me all the new things that she has learned. And I'm willing to bet that your children are exactly the same. They love you even when you're not perfect. And you can love you even when you're not perfect. And letting go of this idea that things should be perfect and instead embracing the imperfection and accepting it and be willing to invite it into your life will take so much stress and strain away. I promise you. I'm sure I've rambled on for long enough, and I'm sure that I have missed out points that I wanted to make in this episode, but I am going to end it here for now. But just please remember, you are not alone in being an imperfectly perfect parent. And as always, if you want to be coached by me, then email me on tova@parentxp.org and we will set up an initial call where we can chat about what it is that you want to achieve and how I might be able to help you and take things from there. So that's tova@parentxp.org. Thank you ever so much, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye.